do not like it, do not want it, and want it repealed. That's not a success. So you can't say Obamacare. That's already been nixed. So you got his foreign policy is not, speaking of foreign policy, there's a couple of fires going on out there that you probably haven't heard of. You probably know about the Iranians board a Marshall Islands flagged cargo ship. And the information is still kind of sketchy that I can see. I mean, there isn't still a lot of info going on or coming out about it yet. We don't know all the details, but evidently, though them are Iranians, they out in the pretty much international waters, I guess they decided that they were going to. I don't know the reason why. We're not told the reason why that they boarded the ship. We're not told why they decided to take hold or target the Marshall Island ship. We're not told yet why, what the cargo may have been. Maybe the Iranians knew something, then they didn't like the cargo or something. I don't know. Highly possible. It is highly possible. We just don't know yet. I'm sure that the information will be coming out. Even though Obama's probably going to have to, explain the $2.2 billion hole that's for failed energy policy. But until then, we won't. I guess that'll be more important, and it probably should be more important than what Marshall Islands are doing or saying about this incident. And the other thing is that Finland. Speaking of Finland is back in the news again. Fires on a suspected Russian submarine in waters off of Helsinki. Yes. So I wonder what Obama's going to do about Putin now. He doesn't seem to want to rein in. Putin is, he's pushing the limits all over the globe at the moment. He's pushing everything. It is what it is over there in Finland, and Putin is, Putin. Putin is what Putin is, and Putin does what Putin does. You want to put it that way. And here's something also that I wanted to bring to you, but it's kind of shocking, but if you really think about it, the way things are going right now, and it kind of dovetails with another story that I wanted to bring you. And in this particular case, this is from the Washington Times. And Idaho City's ordinance tells pastors to marry gays or go to jail. Yes, well, I kid you not. Well-wishers yell encouragement to some same-sex couples as they make their way out of the Ada County Courthouse after they received their marriage licenses back in 2014. But now these pastors are told that they're going to, because they were standing up against the whole notion of not allowing or performing gay or same-sex weddings ceremonies, because it was against their truly deep-felt, heartfelt religious beliefs. And now it's pretty much a city is a state basically is telling people in Boise, Idaho, that pastors are going, look, if you do not do what we tell you to do, and again, I thought we lived in the United States of America, but if these pastors do not, they're ordered basically to go against their own personal beliefs. And if you do not do what we tell you to do, oh stupid pastors, because you have to let go of this notion that, you have this right to stand against gay marriage. You don't have the right to stand against gay marriage because we won't let you have the right to stand against gay marriage because we want to promote gay marriage. And it's mandatory now. It's not, even in this day and age, I don't think it's going to stand up in a court of law. And trust me, these pastors are not going to stand for this. Most of them won't. Some of them will probably capitulate, and they'll give in, but most of them will not. And this is going to end up in the courts again. Our Supreme Court, speaking of Supreme Court, our Supreme Court is really going to have to weigh in on this because to threaten a man of the cloth, are they going to throw an imam, an Islamic imam, in jail because they won't perform same-sex weddings? I'd like to see them try doing that. I really would, because, if there is any religion that is the most adamant against same-sex anything, it's Islam. If you're even suspected of being gay, they will hang you or behead you. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or if you're a boy or a girl. If you're a teenager, that doesn't count. Age does not count with them. But it's Christians get the bad rap for being anti-gay. But you know what? Christians just say they want you to turn away from what they believe to be a sin and embrace God. And for whatever reason, I guess that just has the left all up in a tizzy. But hey, go ahead and behead one or hang one, and that seems to be okay. But it's going to take a number of Supreme Court decisions in order to set this whole same-sex marriage issue straight. But Scalia today, because the Supreme Court is hearing the historic case on same-sex nuptials, Scalia is asking, why no ancient Greek gay marriages? Now, he brings up a very, very good point because, we're told that, homosexuality and everything, it was very open and accepted, in ancient Greece and Rome. And in ancient Rome, we're supposed to be much more enlightened, although we are descended from those nations throughout history, but we're supposed to be more enlightened than they are. Well, hey, they didn't have same-sex marriage. And again, basically the Scalia is asking, really? Because some people believe that gay marriage is an abomination in the eyes of God. Now, Justice Scalia quipped during the proceedings today, after a man actually shouted that in the courtroom during the proceedings, gay marriage is an abomination in the eyes of God. Justice Antonin Scalia quipped, that was refreshing, actually, causing loud laughter to ripple through the courtroom. However, Scalia's approval of ancient wisdom echoed his previous referral to the ancient Greeks and Romans to argue against government sanctioning of same-sex marriage. And the justice noted that the Greeks and Romans had no moral disapproval of homosexual relations, yet neither culture ever considered approving same-sex marriage. The implication was that those cultures must have found it would cause some sort of harm to society. Now, I did a little bit of investigation because I like history. And I got to tell you, he's right on the money. Especially, well, you can say what you want about ancient Rome. I know they probably, there was a lot of hypocritical stuff going on in ancient Rome. They wouldn't allow a same-sex marriage, but they would have orgies that would include married couples and same-sex couples, and just having themselves a good old time. Basically, Romans invented the orgy, but they didn't allow a man to marry more than one wife. They didn't allow same-sex unions like that, marriage. They didn't. It wasn't marriage. You could have your lover. You could have a side. You could have your affair, your mistress, or your mister. What's a? Is it? I don't know. Mistress is having a female lover on the slide. Well, what do you call a male lover on the slide? I didn't look that up. But in any case, they didn't have it. Ancient Greek, when it was, ancient Greeks would actually even, to some degree, allowed for pedophilia, which is, people who are like members of NAMBLA, they always bring that up. Hey, the Greeks had pedophilia. Why can't we? But they still didn't allow marriage. Well, they didn't allow marriage, same-sex marriage, because they felt that there was a way to perpetuate the culture. And in order to perpetuate the culture and bring up their children, the young people, into being adults that would contribute to the culture and thus continue the type of culture that they had, was through a mom and a dad. One mom, one dad. Not two daddies, not two mommies. And it's the same with ancient Rome. There was this, even though they had their very debaucherous types of acceptable behavior, when it actually came down to actually holding up certain purviews of society, they stuck steadfastly to what marriage really was. I'm just saying, folks. So Justice Antonin Scalia, he may get hissed and everything about, well, how dare he bring up such historical fact? Yeah, well, he did. He has every right to ask that question, because I bet you a lot of these, so-called gay activists, they have no clue, because they're only out there trying to foist their beliefs on the rest of us, force us to believe the way they believe. And the funny thing is that many of their own brothers and sisters, if you will, don't agree with them. There are many gay and lesbians out there who do not believe in same-sex marriage. For various reasons, it's up to them to decide, why they do or don't. But they don't. And that they're actually, I think I've listed it before, but there are actually websites out there owned by gay people that are against gay marriage, but you don't hear about those. You don't hear about gays who are standing up for the traditional sense of marriage. And a lot of them think, this is supposed to be an alternative lifestyle. Isn't that what, we're told, being gay is an alternative lifestyle. So if we're supposed to be alternative, why would we want to do exactly the same thing as a standard? Aren't we alternative? We want to do something different. Why do we want to be the same? I think that's a great point. Either you're an alternative lifestyle or you're not. An alternative means something different, out of the norm. Now, norm would be, heterosexual marriage. But you're not normal, as it were. You're an alternative. You're exploring an alternative. And thus, you're not in the general practice of the word normal or norm. Socio-norm. You can try all you want to, but it's not the socio-norm. Being gay is not the socio-norm. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying it's not the socio-norm. And if you're not going to be the socio-norm, why would you want to do something that is socio-normal? Especially after all, since you keep saying you're alternative. I would think that you'd want to come up with something different, something more exciting, something more flamboyant, something more acceptable for everybody involved. But no, I guess you guys just want to be treated normal, so I guess we can get rid of the old alternative lifestyle thing? Probably.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in